Hey YouTube, the winter update is here and so is the new V-Shift mechanic. So in this video, we're going to be going over some ways I found to use it defensively, offensively, and just going over how V-Shift could really shake up the meta of Street Fighter V. V-Shift can only be done while in a neutral state, meaning if you're blocking or holding any direction, it will not work out. Secondly, if you want to activate V-Shift break, this can only be done while you're in the freeze state of a successful V-Shift. During this freeze state, you have to hold the V-Shift buttons, medium kick and heavy punch to use it. Now let's get into some actual implications of how to use this new V-Shift mechanic. For example, with Necalli's crouch medium kick and a medium kick stomp, you can see after a successful V-Shift between the gap of crouch medium kick and a medium kick stomp that I have room to do a punish with Chun-Li's EX legs. But if I try to V-Shift through Ryu's crouch medium kick in a fireball, you're going to have to use a move that's invincible to fireballs, since a fireball is still in my way after I V-Shift through the fireball gap. You can also use V-Shift break to punish fireballs in the neutral game. It's important to note that these V-Shift breaks only do wide health damage and not actual damage. They also will give you a knockdown on hit, although the knockdown is not a very advantageous one. Let's look at some pressure that's a bit more intense to deal with, like Laura's stand heavy punch into EX clap. Here you can see Chun-Li doing V-Shift through her stand heavy punch into EX clap pressure, but since I'm using a charge character, it's very difficult to EX DP, leaving me to only really be able to punish with V-Shift into super or V-Shift break to really get them off me. However, if you're using a non-charge character like Ryu, you can just freely EX DP through their EX clap after a successful V-Shift, since his DP is done by inputting a Z motion as shown here. There is a difference in a normal V-Shift and a delayed V-Shift. You can see here, if I just normally input V-Shift, I'll be stuck in Rashid's pressure. But if I delay my V-Shift, I can get through and punish his EX Whirl Shot, since I'm using V-Shift's invincible frames slightly later by delaying it. One of the most interesting things about V-Shift is that it can now be used to escape checkmate scenarios against highly invincible supers. Let's use Akuma's super as an example here. It is a top 3 invincible super, and despite that, you can now use multiple options to punish it. You can use V-Shift break, V-Shift into super, you can even use V-Shift into a normal or an EX move to punish it. Here, we'll be OSing our opponent trying to wake up V-Shift and or tech. You'll see that when I input throw, I input my second button slightly later, but still within the throw text window. By doing this correctly, if my opponent techs, my crouch medium kick won't come out, but if they wake up with V-Shift, my crouch medium kick will blow them up. It's worth noting that if they back row recover, instead of doing the normal recover we just saw, that back recover will add 5 extra frames of recovery to your opponent's wake up. This allows for some bigger punishes for characters like Chun-Li, which lets her punish a wake up V-Shift with stand heavy kick after a throw is. It's also worth noting that V-Shift breaks are not possible when you or your opponent meaty with a throw. Only a V-Shift will come out. However, V-Shift breaks will come out if you do a block string instead. Option selects are also possible off block strings and singular crouch jabs into throw. Off a block string, you want to OS your stand medium punch with a V-Shift. If you did it right, stand medium punch won't come out and instead a V-Shift will come out to beat Cammy's wake up V-Shift break. Now, while waking up with V-Shift is vulnerable to the throw OS, wake up V-Shift will make your opponent safe to the block string OS. It's also worth noting that even if you OS your crouch jab into another move like Chun's EX legs, the V-Shift will still be invincible and safe. You can also use this block string OS with a move that low profiles to beat V-Shift breaks that hit higher up than others like Necalli here. Now, let's talk more about the corner game and how a crouch jab throw OS with V-Shift can be especially strong. First thing to mention is that simply doing the crouch jab into throw will beat people doing wake up V-Shift without V-Shift break. However, if your opponent does wake up V-Shift break, your throw after crouch jab won't come out and you can just block the V-Shift break instead. But we don't want to block the V-Shift break, we want something similar to our block string OS. This is where the crouch jab throw OS V-Shift comes in. This OS with V-Shift will beat your opponent's wake up V-Shift break in the corner just like our block string OS did mid-screen. If you find your V-Shift OS is getting beat by their wake up V-Shift break, you're simply just mistiming your option select. If you want a guaranteed punish on their V-Shift break but feel uncomfortable going for a full punish, you can simply use the OS to do V-Shift break here instead. If you do decide to go for the full punish on their V-Shift break, one thing to keep in mind about this punish is that it varies depending on the character. Here, you can see I'm only plus 15 off a successful V-Shift versus Laura, Next thing I want to talk about is our V-Shift OS versus V-Reversals. Yes, it also works versus V-Reversals. Let's start off with our Crouch Jab Throw OS V-Shift. This can beat V-Reversals for a big punish and is likely to scare your opponent into using V-Reversal less when their stun is high. You can also use this OS in the second part of your block string. In this case, I'm OSing my stand medium punch with a V-Shift before my stand medium punch comes out, similar to the throw OS. It's worth noting that you cannot do this OS off of a raw stand medium punch, but if your opponent decides to V-Reversal off of that stand medium punch, you can react to it with a V-Shift and get a huge punish. This is going to lead to some hype moments when people try and get you off of them. You can also react to V-Shift breaks in a similar manner, but only with invincible moves like EXDP, Super, and V-Shift. If you react with your V-Shift to their V-Shift break, you can also get a bigger punish than reacting raw with EXDP or Super. Now let's bring up evasive V-Reversals in regards to this V-Shift OS. Other characters like Fong, Colleen, Rashid, Manat, Cammy, and Ed all have evasive V-Reversals that you'll need to find character-specific counters to with your own character. Unfortunately, doing our V-Shift OS will corner us against most of these evasive V-Reversals. Doing this OS on Manat, however, will leave you at +6 with Chun-Li, and you can get a crouch medium kick in a heavy kick legs or EX legs punish. Oh, poor Ed though. His V-Reversal just gets thrown for free. Oh, poor Ed. Cammy, however, is a bit different. You can do a crouch jab throw OS, but special moves don't punish her V-Reversal very well. It's best to go for a button OS that hits higher up, or to just block her V-Reversal and punish with a 6-frame move. Lastly, it's important to note that if you do this special move OS inside a block string, that it will not work properly and you'll get all sorts of weird actions as seen here. Only do this special move OS to punish a V-Reversal off of a crouch jab throw OS. All in all, I've heard people on Twitter say that V-Shift or V-Shift break won't be a big factor, but when you put all these different option selects into consideration, I really feel like this new system mechanic is going to be a game changer. I feel that once people start optimizing their punishes and mix up their defense with V-Shift, we're going to see some really sick reads and see the meta shake up quite a bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hope you look forward to the next one. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about this new V mechanic and if you think it'll shake up the meta too. Later guys, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit like, subscribe, and punch that notification bell to see when my next video goes live. See you next time.